All right, what's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Just finished getting the kayak all loaded up. Tomorrow morning, we are going to be waking up extremely early and making a run out to the Navarre Kayak Reefs to do some offshore bottom fishing. Now, it's been about a month and a half since I have been out to the reef, so I'm not entirely sure what I expect. But this summer has actually been good, man. The red snapper bite has held pretty decent throughout the warmer months. The mangrove bite's been on fire. Vermillion snapper, amberjack, like pretty much anything you can think of. The bite has been decent out there, so I'm excited to see what this fall holds. And right now, as we start making this transition into like the very first little bit of the fall season, when temperatures start cooling down just a little bit, this is one of my favorite times to start getting out there and hitting those reefs hard, because sometimes just 1 or 2 degrees of water temperature difference can get those fish fired up and get them ready to eat some bait. So that's what we're hoping for tomorrow. Now, we are going to be waking up extremely early tomorrow morning, pretty much the middle of the night tonight. The period of time that we're trying to target is that window right before sunrise, when the temperature should be at their coolest point, and theoretically that's when these fish should be about as fired up as they're going to get for the day, trying to eat some bait before the sun comes up and it gets too hot. So you guys set your alarms, get some sleep, and we will see you tomorrow morning. I just made it out to the reefs this morning, guys. Gonna get started by dropping some dead pinfish here. Got a few of these I've been needing to use up and clear the freezer out, so we'll drop these down and then we'll switch over to maybe some cigar minnows or menhaden or something. Not getting touched on the pinfish. Got a couple small little pecks, but nothing really seems to want to take it, so I'm going to switch over to a different bait here. So what I'm going to do is try making a switch over to some menhaden. Menhaden's pretty oily, usually does pretty good, so let me give this a shot here. Just nose hook that head section. A little thump there. There we go, there we go. Got it. Nice fish, really nice fish. Really nice fish. Come on. Luckily, we're over one of the smaller modules here, so I think I can get them up out of the structure pretty quick. Damn. Decent. Pretty nice one on this little grouper box. Oh yeah, nice one. Really nice one. There we go. Shoot, we'll take that all day long. There we go. Pretty nice one there. Oh. I went over that little grouper box and I knew I saw a mark that wasn't structure because it was a little bit off the bottom, so I knew something was on it. Rough measurement on this fish here. Yeah, he's about 23 inches, something like that. All right, guys, beautiful American red snapper there to get us started for the morning. First one that I've caught in a little while. This is the first kayak trip I've made out here in well over a month, so it's a little bit slow this morning. I'm going to be cutting some footage out, but we managed to finally get a nice one to start us off. So we're halfway to the limit of those, and then I'm hoping maybe we can get onto some other stuff. But yeah, we'll take that all day long, man. That's got some nice fillets on them. Nice fat red snapper there. Beautiful. So I picked that fish off of one of the smaller grouper boxes. I was originally fishing one of the super reefs known as the LT, if you guys have the downloadable file for the Navarre reefs on your GPS unit, and wasn't getting any bites. So I ended up popping over to one of these smaller reefs and found that fish. So I'm wondering if maybe we're late enough in the season that some of the bigger ones have been picked off of those larger reefs, because like more people gravitate to those. So we might have better luck hopping around some of these smaller ones that don't get hit too hard. There we go, getting some bites here. Come on, come on, heat it up. There we go. There's a fish. Oh, man. Broke me off. Let's try this again. Is that a dolphin? Oh, man. There we go. Really good fish. Come on. Keep that dolphin occupied. Is it? Okay, good. This one's going to be nearly as big as that first one, but he's decent. Keeper for sure. Come on. Oh, there we go. Another jack. Is it, or is that a big mangrove? What was that? Hold on a sec. Oh my gosh, huge mangrove. Dude, I thought it was an almaco by the size of it. Oh my God, giant mangrove. Holy cow, dude. Dude, that is a giant freaking mangrove. Our buddy Blake just got an almaco jack, so like when I saw this one, it had kind of like a gray color to it. I thought that's what it was gonna be, or at least like a small amberjack. I did not expect it to be a massive mangrove snapper. God dang, that dude's gotta be 23, 24 inches. He's huge. There we go. Got him. There we go, got the hook out of him. My gosh, guys, that is a huge mangrove snapper. Look at the size of that. Dude, look at this tank of a mangrove, bro.
You got a mangrove too?
He's huge.
Oh, that's nice. Hell yeah.
Holy crap, man.
I just pulled up a mangrove too. That was good.
My gosh, guys. That is a jumbo mangrove snapper. Look at the size of that fish. We got to get him on the board. I want to see how big he is. All right, so he's about 22 and a quarter, so a hair over 22. So not 23 to 24 like I thought. My PB is 24. But man, look at that fish, guys. Let me turn that light down a little bit so this fish isn't super washed out on the camera there. Give you guys a good look at that giant mangrove snapper. That is amazing. All right, so I'm gonna come in here into the gills with my shears and give those a clip so he starts bleeding out. We're gonna get him in the cooler. He's coming home for sure. Alright, pulling up on a new reef here. It does look like maybe we have a couple fish hanging out just above and to the side of the structure. So I'm going to drop this menhaden down, see if we get picked up here. Looking for one more red snapper here to make our limit. There's one. Alright, let's see what this is going to be. Definitely a snapper of some form. Is this gonna be another mangrove? I'm thinking that's what it's gonna be. Nope, it is. Perfect. Oh no, it's a little red. Dang it. Is it? What is it? I can't tell. It's too dark. Dang. Just a little red snapper there. He's probably legal. I don't know if I want to keep one that small, but kind of a slow bite in terms of the red snapper, so I just might. Yeah, so he's 17 inches, so he's perfectly legal. Nothing too crazy there, but nice little red snapper that is gonna go ahead and go in the box. I'm gonna speed this video up for you guys a little bit because it is kind of a slow bite out here. Been struggling to find stuff. We've been hopping around reefs here and there and just trying to put something together. So even though he's only about 17 inches, I think he is gonna go in the box. Despite a slow bite, got a nice little box going here. So what I'm gonna do now that we have our snapper limit, I'm gonna switch over to a lighter rig and see if maybe we can pick up a triggerfish or some vermilion snapper. I'm gonna get some of this squid out. This is awesome bait for pretty much anything. I've caught snapper and all kind of stuff on the squid, but particularly this is what I like fishing on these smaller chicken rigs here for triggerfish and other things like that. This is also a great way that you can get ruby red lips to use as baits for snapper. So I've got two baits on there, and those are just size number 2 hooks, so real small hooks. Triggerfish have real small mouths, so do ruby red lips and vermilion snapper and that kind of thing. Got that on a little bit lighter of a setup. That's a 30-pound leader on there. Now chances are we're probably gonna pull up a ton of ruby red lip doing this, but I'm hoping that there's a chance that we can weed through those and maybe get a mingo or a triggerfish. That'd be nice. There's a fish. Oh, dang. What the heck? This might be a triggerfish here. if it is, he's not going to be a keeper size, but that's what this feels like. I'm just a little snapper. Just a little guy. God dang, that snapper has both hooks from my chicken rig in his mouth. That's wild. He ate both of those pieces of squid. They're literally both hooked right inside his mouth there. Alright, now is this going to be a ruby red lip or is it going to be what I want? What I want is a Vermillion Snapper. And it is going to be a Vermilion. Fantastic, look at that. There we go, beautiful little Vermilion Snapper. That's what I was hoping for on the chicken rig there. Now these guys eat amazing. They are just absolutely delicious. They do get pretty big the further offshore you go, but this is about the size that we typically see them here on the Navarre Reefs in 60 to 70 feet of water. They only have to be 10 inches to keep though. You can keep 10 of them and they do not count towards your snapper aggregate. So awesome little meat fish to fill the cooler up with. Okay, here we go. Another mingo right here. A little bit bigger than that first one. Oh, nice, we'll take that. Yeah, not a bad mingo right there. Fat little football of a fish. That is a fat mingo. God dang. Yeah, man, that's a nice mingo for out here. Probably about 12 inches. Not bad for 60 feet of water. All right, guys, and we are gonna go ahead and cut this video off here. We ended up trolling around for a little while. Didn't really get into much of anything other than a couple bonita. It's a pretty slow bite out here this morning. Even out on the reef, we spent a lot of time just kind of sitting around, not really getting bites. So we had to spot hop quite a bit to make something happen. At least we were able to put the limit together. We got one nice one, but that mangrove, I think, is what I'm most excited about on this trip. It's not too often that you get to catch a mangrove that big, and I'm stoked about that. Now, the highlight of today, unfortunately, we did not get on film. We're on our way back in right now, and right when we hit 40 feet, I was quite a ways behind Levi, and he's doing something like organizing stuff in his kayak or whatever, and he just happened to have his X-Wrap that he was trolling sitting out behind the kayak, which at this point, because he's no longer pedaling, it was just kind of floating there on the surface dead. And a sailfish came up and whacked the dead X-Wrap. It must have just been twitching just enough in the water that looking up from underneath, it just saw the silhouette and thought it was maybe like a dying bait fish or something. And it skied on it, got the hooks, and Levi landed that sailfish. So I'm gonna throw a picture of it up here on the screen for you guys. I wish that we got it on film because that was an absolutely insane catch, especially the way that it ate. It was just like mind-boggling that even happened. But congrats to Levi, man. That was such a cool fish. Definitely the highlight of my day, just getting to see that happen. And the cooler full of fish that we're gonna be going home with here is just an added bonus. So hope you guys enjoyed coming along on this trip. If you did, hit the like button and leave me a comment down below. And if you're not subscribed to the channel already, please make sure you do that so you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you on the next one.